Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Josh's Corner, where I answer real estate questions for you. Today, my real estate agent friends, you have got something super incredible in store for you. We're going to talk about time organization through your new business model, economy proofing your real estate business, and then it's up to you to implement. And by implementing, you're going to add 6 figures plus per year to your business. Take a look at the screen. I'm going to take a deep dive into understanding what the Pareto principle is. We're going to understand what a business model is. I'll show you how I've created my weekly schedule utilizing the Pareto principle, how I apply the Pareto principle to my day, thus by creating a 6-figure plus income business model, which is now going to be your foundation, is known as the Pareto principle. I want to start off with one of my favorite quotes because I think it's the foundation of all of us as entrepreneurs, and it's our habits. The quote by Benjamin Franklin is this: "Your net worth to the world is usually determined by what remains after your bad habits are subtracted from your good ones." I often tell my agents that if you show me your habits, I'll show you your life. As a coach, I can predict with a high degree of accuracy the results that you're going to achieve based on your habits, because the outcomes in your real estate business are directly related to your habits. How many of you have ever found yourself saying at one point or another in your real estate career that you've lost motivation or steam or inspiration or drive? Well, completely opposite to what you believe, or maybe completely opposite to what you've been told, the biggest separator in your real estate career isn't motivation or a lack of inspiration. Instead, it's the habits that you create to get you through those days when you don't really feel like doing the activities you need to that will drive success for your business. I have to share this point too with you. Motivation and inspirations, those come and those go. Habits, whether they're good or bad, those are constants. I mean, face it, we work in one of the most stressful industries. And when stress hits and you go into a habit mode, if you don't have the right habits in place, you're going to sink into depression, or you're going to begin running your business, as many agents do, from a place of fear. Well, today we're going to set a good habit focused on your business model, one that sets the foundation for your entire real estate career. You're never going to be organized as a real estate agent if you don't have a business model. And I want to make sure that I get this point across. Your business model, it is not your business plan. Those are two completely separate factors into driving success for your business. Staying on track and managing your day from a place of chaos can be successful if you implement your business model. Let's face it, if you're working from home, as many of us do as real estate agents, we're going to constantly have distractions. Distractions in my home start with a constant pile of laundry that needs to be washed, then it needs to be dried, then it needs to be folded, and then I got to do it all over again. Then I go to the kitchen and there's a constant pile of dishes in the sink. My floors need to be vacuumed, swept, mopped. And as if this wasn't enough, I've got this staring problem with Netflix. Right now, my Netflix go-to is Yellowstone. Then I've got to go pick up the kids from school. I got to bring them home. We have to do homework. We have to make dinner. Then I've got to get them all tucked into bed. Does this sound familiar to any of you, as this is your daily life working from home as a real estate agent? Well, the good news is today I have a solution for you. I'm going to teach you today how to apply the simple technique of the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, to your real estate business. And as a result, you're going to gain 5 hours per day, ready? Worth over $150,000 per year to your business, because you will focus on buyers and sellers. Okay, before we dive into that, we need to understand where the Pareto principle came from. Vilfredo Pareto was born in Italy in 1848. And the story behind Vilfredo Pareto is that one day he noticed that 20% of the plants in his garden had generated 80% of the fruit. And seeing that uneven distribution, he wondered if this was the same in other areas of life. Well, as Pareto thought about the wealth in Italy, he discovered that 80% of all the land was owned by only 20% of the population. So Pareto, digging deeper, investigated different industries, and he found that 80% of the production typically came from just 20% of the companies. The conclusion was that 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. This is how we came up with the Pareto principle. So the 80-20 rule is extremely important. In fact, it's used by nearly every major corporation in every corner of the world. The rule has become a foundation for authors and coaches and managers and leaders. Many of the world's most successful, are you ready? Entrepreneurs have built their business on the foundation of the Pareto principle. Applying this principle to your real estate business is going to give you the foundation for which your entire success will be built. I mean, after all, aren't you an entrepreneur? The only difference between anyone's success isn't that they're better than you. It's that they just happen to start a little bit sooner. And what they started with was exactly this business model. All right. When we apply the 80-20% rule to our business, it means that we're going to focus 20% of our time on sellers and 80% of our time on buyers. Having the 80-20 foundation is going to allow you to make course corrections for when the market changes. Face it, history shows us that real estate market, it changes constantly. How many of us just saw the overnight shift in the real estate market recently? So when we're in a seller's market, you're going to focus 80% of your time on sellers and 20% of your time on buyers. As the market shifts, you'll focus 80% of your time on buyers and 20% time on sellers. The bottom line is you will have this course correction ability because you've built a business model. Well, let's talk about the business model, the 80-20 rule, and how we apply it to your business. The greatest benefit, and I have to say this, the greatest benefit to this 80-20 rule for your business is that it's going to force you to focus on buyers and sellers. Think of the NFL. A quarterback is never going out there with a play designed to only focus on one player. The quarterback is constantly scanning the entire field. This rule of the 80-20 in your business is going to allow you to economy-proof your business, because too often we as realtors get caught up in the current real estate market and we focus only on one client rather than both buyer and seller, ultimately leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. To generalize, 80% of your results are going to come from only 20% of your actions. I want to break down for you how I balance my family time and my work time utilizing the 80-20 rule in my schedule, in hopes that this is going to give you a foundation for which you can also build your six-figure business model. So Monday through Friday, I work 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on me time and family time. And then 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., which is 5 hours, that's the time that I actually get to work. That's where I grind, that's where I hustle. Saturdays and Sundays, those are reserved for showing my clients homes or maybe even hosting open houses. So my work week consists of working 25 total hours, Monday through Friday. That's only 5 hours a day, as I just mentioned. You can choose to do more for yourself, or you can choose to do less for yourself based on your schedule. You've got to make it real and relatable to you. I have found, though, that for my own personal self, in making 7-figure a year income, it requires the business model I'm going to show you on the next slide and those activities in there that I utilize. Following this 80-20 rule as my foundation for working 25 hours per week, I'm going to spend 4 hours a day working on sellers and the other 1 hour, which is 20% of time left over, working on buyers. Of course, as the market shifts, I'm then going to be able to work 80% of my time on buyers because I have the business model for it. And the other 20% of my day will be focused attracting sellers. The bottom line is your 80-20 rule is never going to change. It is your foundation. It is how you build a sustainable and repeatable business. If you take a look at the screen here, my business model is set up as a weekly schedule. It is not a yearly schedule. It is not a quarterly schedule. It's not even a monthly schedule. We know all too often that when we set a business plan and then things change, like vacation time comes and we're gone for a week or 2 weeks, kids have 2 weeks off of school, all of the things I've been working on are completely out the door at that point. So having a weekly schedule allows you to make all the corrections you need, and that's why it's important to have this business model. If you look at the top, Monday through Friday, I have buyer-seller activity. And then below that, I wake up at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday with the exact same schedule. I meditate. Then I work out at 6. I have breakfast at 7. I drop the kids off at 8. Then below that, I now get to work at 9 a.m. This is my lead generating time for 5 hours per day. It is important to know that we are not realtors. You need to take that and scrape it, scratch it, throw it, burn it, whatever you need. You would do much better to understand that your title, your role is a lead generating machine. There it is. Forget realtor, you're a lead generating machine. Okay, home IQ for my sellers is what I work on at 9 a.m. And that stays the same Monday through Friday. Then I do my video marketing at 10 a.m. I do my just sold flyer at 11 a.m. Then I do my Facebook landing page at noontime. Then at 1 p.m., I'll work on a buyer activity because remember, 80% of my 5 hours, which is only 4 total hours, is worked in my program focused on sellers. The other 1 hour or 20% of my time is focused on buyers. So home of the day would be at 1 p.m. The next day I would do my new home construction website. I would do target farming. I would do my mobile app, whatever the activities are on this list. These are the activities that drive me to get a 7-figure-a-year income year after year. And because I have my business model following the 80-20 rule, I'm constantly building a repeatable, sustainable, and economy-proofed business. All right. What I want to do now is I want to talk to you about the reality of our unintentional behaviors, because our unintentional behaviors do follow the 80-20 rule throughout most of our lives, and we don't even know it. I often say that if you want to be successful in anything you do, then you need to be intentional about it. In 2020, we were faced with COVID. COVID gave all of us as realtors a way to be intentional in our business. It was simply picking up the phone and making a phone call to a friend, a family, a neighbor, or someone in our lead contact database that we would just ask how they're doing, if they need anything. And oftentimes, most times after making that call, because people know what you do in real estate because you've built your brand, they're going to ask you the question, well, hey, let me ask you something, Josh. I know you work in real estate. Is it a good time to sell my home? Or most times I would hear someone say, well, hey, thanks for the call. I got a quick question for you. We're thinking about moving out of state, getting out of California. Is now a good time to sell? Or one of my favorites that I often heard was, hey, Josh, thanks for calling and checking up on us. Quick question, how much is my home worth? So I have seen real estate agents create and repeat their own pandemic year after year in real estate, because the temptation always exists for them to try a new strategy or to buy a new lead source with money that they don't even have, hoping to get results that aren't even real. And then what happens is every single time that the market begins to shift, take a look at the screen as I want to talk to you about the reality of our unintentional behaviors as it follows the 80-20 rule throughout most of our lives. I often say, if you want to be successful in anything you do, then you need to be intentional about it. Perfect example is in 2020 during the COVID pandemic. This is where we as realtors had a prime opportunity to be intentional with our business. And for many of us, it was as simple as making your calls to past clients, present clients, and your sphere. The call was just to check up and make sure that they were safe, to see if they needed anything. And in most cases, the call turned into them asking you if now would be a good time to sell their home. Or my favorite, hey Josh, how much is my home worth? So being intentional in your business is the secret ingredient to building success. I've seen real estate agents repeat their own pandemic year after year with their own habits. The temptation always exists to try a new strategy, to buy a new lead source with money I don't have, hoping to get results that really aren't achievable, to start farming, and then instead of being consistent, I stop. And although there's nothing wrong with this, as we do need to constantly shift how we attract business as realtors, we need to evolve as realtors, but not organizing our real estate activities means that we dilute our daily production. And as we focus on building a sustainable and repeatable business, one that is economy proofed, we need to apply the 80-20 rule as our foundation. This new strategic business model is going to force you to spend less time chasing endless opportunities. Okay, we need to prioritize, right? We talked about working from home and chaos. We know there's a million different things that we can do to attract business. You saw my business model on the activity list. There's 12 different things on there that I do each day, every week, week in and week out. Some of the things that we do will always be more important than others, and that's okay. But just because we can't do every single one of them doesn't mean that we're not doing a good job. The key to our success is to prioritize exactly what's the most important to us, and then you let the rest go. You're going to be surprised at how much better you feel and how much more you can accomplish when you focus on the things that are important to you. The Pareto principle is an absolutely great way for you to help organize your time, your activities, and in the end, make the most of your day. And when I say make the most, I'm talking about being the most successful that you've ever been, creating clients, creating and generating new clients. Commit to this business model that we've just talked about, applying the 80-20 rule, and see exactly how it's going to lead you to achieving your goals. Understand this. As a full-time or a part-time realtor, it's crucial to remember that there's only so many minutes in an hour, there's only so many hours in a day and in a week. The Pareto principle is truly going to help you see this as a good thing. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in your own pandemic, doing a never-ending list of activities. And if you continue to do this, so let's look at this from a time perspective. As a full-time or part-time realtor, it's crucial to remember that there are only so many minutes in an hour, hours in a day, and days in a week. The Pareto principle will help you to see this as a good thing. Otherwise, you'd be stuck in your own pandemic to a never-ending list of activities to do. If you continue to do this year what you did last year, you're going to have even worse results. Why? Because the real estate market has shifted. It is time for you to build a foundation, a new and a better you. It's time to take control of your day. You know what you're worth. Now go get it. So what 20% of your work drives 80% of your outcomes? So I want to talk to you about time. As a full-time or part-time realtor, it's absolutely crucial to remember that there are only so many minutes in an hour, hours in a day, and days in a week. The Pareto principle is going to help you see this as a good thing. Otherwise, you'd be stuck working on a never-ending list of activities to do, day in and day out, and never accomplishing any of them that are really going to drive in success for you. If you continue to do this year what you did last year, you're going to have worse results. Why? Because the real estate market has shifted. It is time for you to build your new foundation, to build the better you. It is time for you to take control of your day. I often tell my agents, you know what you're worth. Now go out there and get it. I only want to see you as a real estate agent succeed. And sometimes our success is as simple as having somebody take a roadmap, put it in front of us, and say, go. That's really it. So I want to provide you with as many roadmaps to your career as I can, in hopes to see you live a life of freedom with time to put more time and energy into your family. If you need any help, I want you to reach out to me at 209-688-5251 or send me an email to josh@rogzoom.com, and make sure you're subscribing to my channel and you're clicking that notification bell, because I constantly put roadmaps in here for you. And if it's something that resonates with you that can help propel your business to get to that higher level, then take full advantage of it. All right, until next time, I'll see you soon.